Cathay Pacific cancels all Dubai and Riyadh flights until next Saturday as tour groups remain stranded. Amid tensions in the Middle East, a Hong Kong teenager living in Dubai shares his feelings on the conflict. And Israel launches fresh attacks on Tehran and Beirut, while Washington warns the war could drag on for a month. Good evening, you're watching Cable News, I'm Quentin Yan. In the wake of the Middle East conflict, Cathay Pacific further cancelled flights between Hong Kong and Dubai or Riyadh until March 14th. Hong Kongers living in Dubai recalled loud booms that left them sleepless at night and described a scene of scattering rocket debris. Jimmy Liu talks to a Hong Kong teen who witnessed the chaos.
As Arab states bore the brunt of Iranian attacks, Mrs. Liu, who is living in Dubai, said she saw the debris of intercepted rockets scattering across the Gulf city. Her 14-year-old son, Linus, recalled the scary moments when the attack hit.
There's a lot of military planes flying over my head. It's very loud, and there's so many warnings from my phone, especially at midnight, so I cannot sleep. Pretty panic. I'm thinking ways to leave the country. My friends just go very scared. They leave. Most of them left the country in some sort of way that I didn't know.
Linus said he and his mother went to the supermarket to stock up on food and supplies and are staying indoors for safety. As for stranded travelers, it is unclear when they could return home, even though the Dubai International Airport has resumed limited operations. The United Arab Emirates has said it will cover the expenses of stranded visitors, while Dubai authorities have cleared tourists to resume sightseeing. Yun Chen-ning, executive director of travel agency WWPKG, said most travelers were stuck in the Middle East, as the earliest available flights out are either in India to the east or Turkey to the west, and it's hard to tell when air travel would resume. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
The SAR's women's football team have withdrawn from an ongoing football tournament in Dubai and remain in the hotel to ensure personal safety.
So the team is going to be at the hotel, so we organize some activities at the hotel. I'm together with them, and the situation is quite safe and stable for the moment.
Speaking from Dubai, the head coach said the team has withdrawn from the Pink Ladies Cup 2026 and suspended all outings due to increased tensions. They were scheduled to return to Hong Kong on March 8th. The team are in close communication with the Football Association of Hong Kong and the SAR government regarding any future plan or the latest safety assessment. A fresh wave of U.S. and Israeli strikes has hammered targets across Iran, with U.S. President Donald Trump warning that America's massive aerial campaign is just getting started and could stretch well beyond a month. In a fiery retaliation, Iranian drones set the U.S. embassy in Riyadh ablaze, while missiles rained down on American allies across the Gulf, killing 6 U.S. soldiers. In Tehran, explosions lit up the skyline overnight, as Iranian officials accused Washington and Tel Aviv of attacking civilian areas, including national TV headquarters. The Israeli military confirmed it dropped over 250 bombs on Iranian targets over the past day, hitting multiple facilities, including a leadership complex. Iran's Revolutionary Guard closed the Strait of Hormuz, vowing to destroy any foreign vessel attempting to pass through. It followed up with barrages of ballistic missiles and drones aimed at Israel and U.S. allies throughout the Gulf. Explosions and plumes of smoke were seen rising from Riyadh's diplomatic quarter early Tuesday, after 2 drones hit the U.S. embassy compound, causing minor damage but no casualties, according to U.S. officials. Additional strikes hit a U.S. military base at Shikisa in Bahrain and a temporary operations center at Kuwait's Shuaiba port. The U.S. military has confirmed at least 6 American soldiers were killed in the attacks. In response, the State Department ordered all U.S. citizens in 14 Middle Eastern countries to leave immediately. As the toll of war mounts, Trump made clear that operations would continue, noting that the progress of the joint U.S.-Israel campaign is exceeding expectations, and the offensive could last 4 to 5 weeks or longer, as preparation for an extended campaign are already underway. Israeli airstrikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon continued for a second day amid the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. The strikes, described by Israel as forward defense, have killed at least 52 people and injured more than 150. Lebanon's government has banned Hezbollah's military activities, but the group persisted with drone attacks on Israel. Cheryl Yun shares more.
Loud explosions rocked Beirut's southern suburbs, with thick smoke plumes visible across the city skyline as Israeli warplanes targeted Hezbollah command centers and weapons storage facilities in Lebanon. Israel claimed to have killed multiple Hezbollah leaders, including their head of intelligence headquarters, in retaliation for the group's attacks on Israeli military sites. Israel's defense minister Israel Katz warned that ground troops would advance to seize more strategic areas in Lebanon, adding that Hezbollah would pay a heavy price. The renewed fighting has displaced thousands more Lebanese families fleeing their homes. The Lebanese militia described its attacks on Israel as retaliation for criminal Israeli aggression across dozens of Lebanese areas and for the U.S.-Israeli assassination of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. In an unprecedented move, Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam announced an immediate ban on Hezbollah's military and security activities, ordering the group to surrender weapons to the state and prohibiting any missile, rocket or drone launches from Lebanese territory. Hezbollah rejected the ban as unjustified and vowed to continue operations. Israel and Hezbollah had agreed to a U.S.-brokered ceasefire in 2024 after months of intense fighting. Yet Israel has maintained near-daily airstrikes on Hezbollah positions in Lebanon ever since. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The White House released photos showing U.S. President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate as he monitored the U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran. The images captured his cabinet members and a map, offering a rare glimpse inside his improvised war room during those tense moments. Jimmy Liu has more details.
A photo appears to show Trump sitting at the same table with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles and CIA Director John Ratcliffe, whose agency had reportedly watched Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei for months before a fatal attack on him. There is a large map labeled with Epic Fury, the military operations code name. It appears to show U.S. bases and other assets in the Middle East, with Iranian targets marked by red diamond shapes. Another photo set off speculation that Wiles may have compromised the room's security, as she is seen wearing what could be a smartwatch. However, the device's maker said it has no microphone or GPS tracking. The other images show Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane, the highest-ranking member of the U.S. military, and Vice President J.D. Vance, who is in the actual White House Situation Room in Washington, D.C. The conflict in the Middle East unfolded when the U.S. and Israel began airstrikes on Iranian military and government targets last Saturday. According to CNN, in addition to the capital city of Tehran, major cities in Iran were struck, from the country's northeast to the south. Iran quickly struck back against Israel and Gulf countries hosting U.S. military sites across the region, including Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar. Meanwhile, Israel was also trading fire with Hezbollah, Iran's allied militia group in Lebanon, widening the scope of the conflicts with no end in sight. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
In other news, Chief Executive John Lee and Hong Kong's delegates to the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference have arrived in Beijing ahead of the annual two sessions. Hong Kong's sole delegate to the NPC Standing Committee, Sterry Lee, expressed hope that the National 15th Five-Year Plan would guide the city's own inaugural five-year plan. Cheryl Yun reports.
Chief Executive John Lee has arrived in Beijing to attend the nation's most important annual political event. In a social media post, he said he looked forward to hearing delegates' constructive suggestions and proposals on deepening Hong Kong's integration into national development. Lee will attend the opening session of the NPC meeting on Thursday and return to Hong Kong the same day. Scores of Hong Kong politicians and business leaders also departed for Beijing this morning, including Starry Lee, the city's sole representative on the NPC Standing Committee. The LegCo president stressed that this year marks the launch of the nation's 15th five-year plan, coinciding with Hong Kong's introduction of its first-ever five-year plan, making the timing doubly significant. She expressed hope that the city could formulate plans that integrate with and support the nation's overall development strategy. Other Hong Kong members of the CPPCC National Committee have also embarked for the capital, including CK Hutchison Managing Director Victor Lee, whose company is encountering challenges in connection with earlier developments concerning two Panama Canal ports. The two sessions officially begin on Wednesday and Thursday. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The government's attempt to overturn a court ruling on the controversial Fanling Golf Course public housing project got off to a bad start today, with an appeals court justice rating its lead lawyer's argument as absurd. Golf Club Chairman Andy Kwok and Senior Counsel Rimsky Yuan, representing the Environmental Protection Department, attended the hearing. During proceedings, Yuan argued the legal battle had become academic due to a technical amendment to the Environmental Impact Assessment Ordinance. The change means projects under 50 hectares, like this one, no longer require an approved environmental report. Therefore, he contended, the Director of Environmental Protection never had legal authority to approve the report, rendering the judicial review pointless and warranting dismissal. The claim drew sharp pushback from presiding Justice Susan Kwan. If this judgment carries no legal effect, why did we bother submitting 5 or 6 volumes of EIA reports to the court? She asked. The golf club countered that the law changed only after the government moved to reclaim the land, so the earlier rules should apply. The dispute centers on the government's plan to reclaim 32 hectares of the private golf course for 12,000 public housing units. In December 2024, the High Court quashed the EPD's environmental approval, citing failures to assess impacts on endangered species and cultural heritage. A decision is expected after the 3-day hearing. Hong Kong International Airport staged a large-scale emergency drill early this morning, simulating a passenger aircraft catching fire during takeoff. In the simulated scenario, the jet aborted takeoff after a lithium battery ignited in the cabin. The aircraft then veered off the runway, sustaining land gear damage, with smoke billowing from the fuselage. Fire crews rushed to extinguish the blaze as rescuers evacuated dozens of injured passengers. More than 1,000 personnel from over 20 government departments and organizations took part in the exercise. The airport authority hailed the drill as a success, noting it enhanced coordination among the airport, emergency services, airlines, and hospitals. The Hong Kong Red Cross also joined the operation, providing simulated psychological counseling and humanitarian aid, while 5 hospitals contributed to the emergency response efforts. Hong Kong stocks extended their losses to below 26,000 points over worries that the Middle East conflict could drag on. The benchmark Hang Seng Index opened higher in the morning, but closed down 291 points to a 2-month low. The market turnover continued to hike, rising 4% to $370.5 billion. Across the Asian markets, South Korean shares tumbled over 7%, logging the biggest percentage drop in 19 months. Tokyo's Nikkei declined 1,788 points to 56,279, the biggest drop since November. In the mainland, the Shanghai Stock Exchange Composite Index fell by 1.4%. Onto the weather now. Mainly cloudy with occasional showers. Cool tomorrow morning with a minimum temperature of about 16 degrees. Showers will ease off gradually during the day. The maximum temperature will be around 19 degrees. Still cool in the mornings in the following couple of days. That's our news tonight. I'm Quentin Yan. Thank you for watching. Good night.